Hey guys, I am James. Welcome to my channel. This is Rogue Duelist Trade. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Today we're going to be talking about Eternity Code. So on Rogue Duelist channel, we talk about our favorite trading card game, which is Yu-Gi-Oh! And whether or not you should be investing your money in upcoming products so that you can profit. So guys, I'm really excited because we have a really good set that's going to be coming out in 1 month, May 1st, and that is Eternity Code. So if you guys have seen one of my previous videos, which you should be seeing a link popping up above this video, I have invested in a case and a half. So this is one of my first large investments that I am making in Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's the whole point of this channel, is investing in products. So I'm really excited about this set. And in my last video, I touched on how great this set is. And we're gonna be using the RDT RISK model, which I've developed and I've been using in all of my past videos, which is essentially how much risk is there in investing in this product and making profit. And guys, if you wanna get more context on the metrics that we're using to grade this set, look at the description down below. I provide definitions on each of the metrics that we're gonna be going through right now. There's a lot of information we're gonna go through, and I'm gonna do it as concise as possible. So guys, I've been getting a lot of requests in previous videos in the comment section, and you guys have been asking me, hey, what cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Should I be investing in that are singles? I haven't been making investment videos on singles, but what I'd like to do is through Eternity Code, talk about the cards that you guys should be investing in now. From my research, I found a lot of cards that haven't been bought out yet, and I feel they are definitely going to be bought out, so I want to help you guys get ahead of the curve and go ahead and make those investments. So I'll make those suggestions in this video, so continue watching, and I'll make sure I touch on that for you guys. Before we go into the set, if you haven't done it already, like this video. Hit that thumbs up button down below for this video if you guys like content like this. And guys, especially if you like content like this, subscribe to this channel. And if you guys would take even a step further, share this video on some of your social media platforms. If you guys find this helpful, share this with your friends, share this with communities, Facebook pages, whatever you guys feel would be the appropriate source for this type of information. If you guys want to keep seeing content like this, it will continue, especially if the channel continues to grow. And guys, comment down below. I want to know what you guys think about this set. I want to know if you guys think there's anything I missed, anything that you feel is super impactful, or anything that you feel I might be overhyping on. I really want to get your feedback. Leave it down below and let me know. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and jump into the analysis. So here we are, Eternity Code. Guys, this is gonna be a really good set. I'm really excited to go through this analysis with you. So real quick, let's just talk about what this set is at a very high level. So it's coming out May 1st, 2020. It's a 100 card set, 50 commons, 26 super rares, 14 ultra rares, 10 secret rares. Now guys, don't forget there is no rares in this set. And for the foreseeable future, there are gonna be no rares in core sets moving forward in Yu-Gi-Oh! There's no longer going to be sneak peeks, and there's no longer going to be special editions. Premier events are actually going to be replacing sneak peeks. With everything going on with Crush Card Virus, I don't really know what's going to be going on, what Konami's going to do. It would be really cool to see if Konami does something super creative. This is the final set for anime imports from Link Brains. And if you guys haven't noticed already, I got my new poster up. Super hyped about that. I've been waiting for this thing coming out of China. I know it came out of China, but it was in transit for a really long time, and I was really careful opening it. Let me know what you guys think about the backdrop behind me. I'd love to get your guys' feedback if you like these posters. And this is the first set coming into MR5. So this is meant to be a groundbreaking set because Konami is really shifting how the game is played, going back to older mechanics as we were in the past. So we're kind of commingling the history and the future together in this new era of Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is really exciting. So guys, there's so much to cover, and there's some things that I'm just gonna have to touch on, but here's some upcoming support that is coming in Eternity Code. We got Orcus Mekk-knight World Legacy, which I bundled together because of the new Orcus Mekk-knight card that's coming. Salamangrate cards are getting support, Marine Cess, Code Talkers, Dragon Maid, Dinosaur, Plunder Patrol, Deep Sea, Generators, Infernoids, Invoked, Unchained, Thunder Dragon, Ancient Warriors, Trap Tricks, Fiend, Synchros, Fusions, Exes, more. Lots of things that I'm not covering, but that's most of it actually. Really awesome to see a lot of support for really good archetypes and engines that are currently in the meta today. So our first metric that we're going to be grading from a scale of 1 to 5 is current card support buyouts and value. One of the first cards that I've noticed that has been getting a lot of buyouts is Orchestrated Return, and for good reason. So Orchestrated Return not only allows you to send an Orcust or a World Legacy card to the graveyard, but in addition to that, if you do that, you can go ahead and draw 2 cards. Now with the new Orcust Mekk-knight card that's coming, it summons a World Legacy token, so you can either send that monster or the token and you can go ahead and dig into your deck for 2 cards. This card has jumped by nearly 100% in the past 30 days. And in addition to that, it's been like, just in the past 3 days, it's gone up by 8%. So this is a card that I could imagine is going to continue skyrocketing in value. And this is a good indicator that people are very excited for Orcust, and it'll be really interesting to see what's going to be going on in the future meta. Galatea, actually the super rare version from Soul Fusion, has seen a 42% increase in its price point over the past 30 days. And guys, I should mention this source that I'm getting this information from is YugiOhPrices.com. And that's actually a really good resource. They actually take information from TCG Player, eBay, Troll and Toad, and they get all of that data, put it together, and show you the price fluctuations throughout the market for specific cards. But Galatea, 42% in the past 30 days. There's a lot of eyes on Orcust right now. So we have Deep Sea Diva, and this is actually the common from Realm of the Sea Emperor structure deck. This has seen a 90% increase in the past 30 days. Deep Sea and just Sea Serpent archetype in general is getting a huge buff in Eternity Code, and I could see this archetype going meta, or if anything, being a really strong rogue category. So a lot of people have their eyes on the water archetype in general, but also Sea Serpents. So that's why you're seeing this go up. Marine Cess Coral Anemone. Now, Marine Cess are getting a new boss monster and some additional support. Now, this has seen some modest fluctuation, but pretty strong. The past 3 days, it's had a 25% increase in its price point. So Marine Cess looks like something that people are very excited about, and it's getting some buyouts right now, largely probably because of Eternity Code. Now, Parlor Dragon Maid, as I mentioned, Dragon Maids is going to be getting some support. If you guys saw in Mystic Fighters, Dragon Maid prices for those cards were so high because of what's known as the waifu tax, and this card has seen an 18% increase in the past 30 days, 14% in the past 3 days, 10% in the past 24 hours. So in just the past day, and I'm recording this video on April 2nd, 2020. I can imagine that we're going to continue seeing Parlor Dragon Maid go up. If you guys intend on playing Dragon Maid, I'd probably go and make some investments into this right now, because I could see this only going up from here, especially from what I'm seeing right now. Microcoder, I felt like this was an honorable mention because of the support that Cybers is getting in Eternity Code in general. It has had a 10% increase in the past 30 days. In the past week, it's had a 7% increase. I think it's something to keep your eye on. This may have hit its peak, but as we get closer to Eternity Code, it might find a new peak and continue going up. As you can see, there has been a lot of interest in Microcoder, I would imagine, because of Eternity Code. So guys, this is what I was mentioning in the beginning of my video. I wanted to give you guys a side note on some cards that you should be picking up because of hype that's going to be coming in Eternity Code. I could imagine as we start approaching May 1st, these cards are going to start seeing a lot of buyout. Plunder Patrol, TCG exclusives such as Dangers, Spiral have all been extremely meta relevant in the past history. Plunder Patrol has huge promise, and it just needs the right support for it to put it into the meta. Some of the cards are dirt cheap right now in dollars. I would go and make some investments in Plunder Patrol. Dragon Maids, I feel, is a very good pickup, especially House Dragon Maid. The reason why, there's a new fusion coming in Eternity Code, and it specifically special summons House Dragon Maid from the extra deck. So if people are going to be wanting to play Dragon Maids, trust me, they're going to be wanting to play this new fusion, which means they have to have House Dragon Maid in their extra deck. It's a secret rare that came out of Mystic Fighters, and it's 99 cents right now. Guys, I would go and pick that up. If anything, it's not going to be a loss. I do not imagine it going lower than the current price point. I feel it's a safe investment. Mekk-knights, I feel like there's going to be a really strong Mekk-knight Orcust engine that somebody's going to figure out and really refine as we get into the next meta. I think that's a solid pickup. Dinosaurs, specifically Double Evolution Pill. One of the new dinosaur monsters that's coming in Eternity Code actually allows you to pull an Evolution Pill card directly from your deck to your hand. So I feel that's a safe pickup, especially with the ultra rare that came out of Dual Overload, which is at a very low price point right now, and I can imagine can only go up from here. Trap Tricks I feel is a solid pickup. There's a lot of really good support coming out, and from what I've seen, Trap Tricks, if anything, the cost has been going down as of recent, so I really feel like it's at a good point right now to go and pick it up. Marine Cess, again, a lot of Marine Cess cards, actually the value's been going down. I feel Marine Cess is another sleeper. In addition, also Medolce. Medolce is getting a lot of really good support, had a lot of good reprints that came out of Dual Overload. I feel Medolce is going to be a really solid pickup. And in addition, just cyber support in general. There's so many good cyber support cards for Salad, for Marine Cess, for Code Talkers, or just cybers in general that are coming in Eternity Code. So things like Maiden, again, had a reprint in Dual Overload. I feel that's a solid pickup as well. So guys, now current card support buyouts and value, I'm putting it as a 4. I don't think it's super crazy right now, but it's really strong and really good and promising. I feel as we start approaching more towards May, this is gonna start going crazy in buyouts. I do think that I have to mention Crush Card Virus is a variable that we need to think about because we don't have any big tournaments that are scheduled because of Crush Card Virus. And you would imagine that not a lot of people are going to be investing into the meta. But as of recently, I haven't really seen any huge changes in the price points for cards that are meta relevant. And I think it's actually baffling a lot of people that were really anticipating card prices to really be driven down. I'm feeling like that risk may not be as large as we were initially thinking. Take that into account, take that with a grain of salt, use your best judgment. So our next metric is consumer hype on social media. Now guys, you're gonna have to take this from me because I can't share information that's out of a public group in Facebook, but I am part of a lot of really large Facebook groups that are specifically tailored to Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Facebook groups. Everybody is extremely excited about Eternity Code. There's people that are going as far to say that it may be one of the best sets that have ever come out for Yu-Gi-Oh!, at least considering current meta. So with that said, and with a lot of hype that I've been seeing from comments and YouTube videos, I'm gonna go ahead and just call this a 5, and let's go ahead and move forward into our next metric, which is multiple chase cards. Now this is a big one, and this one it is a bit risky because you have to make assumptions, but from what I looked at the current OCG list for the cards that we're likely gonna be getting, these are some of the cards that I'm highlighting that I feel at least 50% of these cards that I'm gonna be covering, I feel are gonna be some of the chase cards, and there's probably cards that I'm missing that are gonna be chase cards. But guys, there's so much opportunity that I feel like we can't go wrong with this set. We're gonna have a lot of chase cards. First, let's start with Dragon Maid support. This is the fusion that I mentioned. It's Dragon Maid Straw, really strong card, and then we have Chamber Dragon Maid, which is a really good resource builder for the deck. I recommend that you guys do your research into some of these cards. I just want to quickly show you guys the opportunity that's in this set, and I recommend that you guys do some research and make your own judgment. But this Dragon Maid support really could put Dragon Maid on the map for at least a super strong rogue contender. And now these are probably some of the cards that people are most excited about, especially current Dinosaur players or Orcus players. Jewel Beast Argosaurus is essentially a staple for Dinosaur decks. It's an extremely good searcher. And Mekk-knight Orcus Girsu is you're mingling Mekk-knight, World Legacy, and Orcus in one card. There's Mekk-knight in the name, Orcus in the name. It summons a World Legacy token. This card is basically going to help put Orcus back on the map, and thus why you guys are seeing a lot of the buyouts for a lot of important Orcus cards that makes this card really good. So these are cards that you guys should look out for chase cards. Deep Sea, these are 2 of Deep Sea cards that are coming out of Eternity Code. Deep Sea Araya essentially helps you dig into the deck, and it really commingles well with Deep Sea Princess Prima Donna because Prima Donna helps you banish cards, while Deep Sea Araya helps you bring banished cards back into the deck, and you get effects based on that. These are cards that are essentially going to be, I feel, required for Sea Serpent and Deep Sea decks. So if people really are wanting to go into that, and it really seems that people are extremely excited about the Deep Sea archetype or water in general, I feel these are cards that people are going to be going after. And then you got Marine Cess Great Bubble Reef, which is essentially one of the newer boss monsters for Marine Cess. It's an extremely good card, extremely good with resources, can build attack. And then you have Access Code Talker. He can essentially become a 5300 beat stick. Your opponent cannot respond to any of his effects with their card effects, and he can destroy a card every single turn on the field, and that's generic. He's a very strong card, and I feel there's going to be a lot. And not to mention, he is a generic Link 2+ monster, so he can be used in nearly any deck. Also, you have Araya the Water Charmer Clear. I feel with water becoming more relevant into the meta, she is going to be extremely good. Her effect is essentially the same as all the other Link Charmers that are out there, except she is for water. And again, with water becoming more relevant, I feel she may become a staple in every side deck. And then you have Evening Crescent and Autumn Shower. She's part of the whole Ash Blossom family. She is a monster negation, also puts damage onto your opponent, which can be really good if you're going into time. I think a lot of people are downplaying her when you're comparing her to Impermanence and Forbidden Chalice, but I think she has her own unique use cases. And in addition, just as all the other cards in the Ash Blossom family, she is a level 3 tuner, which commingles really well with Needle Fiber. So I feel there's going to be specific use cases where people are going to want Evening Crescent more than other card negations. And honestly, it's a card that I'm going to make sure I have 3 of, because I don't want this to skyrocket in price when people start realizing like, oh man, it's actually really good. Next is Fusion Dispatch. Now this card can essentially just pull a named fusion material from your deck to the field, and then you're just locked in the fusion summons. But for fusion centric decks, this card is nuts. You can just go and pull a card from your deck and summon it to the field. And then you have Gizmecs. Gizmecs have a really good reputation. Gizmek and Arius have very interesting effects. I feel this is going to be a card that people are going to want to make sure that they have. Those are our chase cards that I am predicting are going to have some relevance, but again, there might be some cards in here that might not be as much as chase cards as others, and there might be cards I missed. If you guys feel I missed something, let me know down in the comments below. I'd like to get your perspective. But for right now, I think multiple chase cards is going to be an easy 5. No matter which cards are chase cards, there are going to be multiple chase cards. Next is meta relevant now as our metric. So essentially, are there archetypes that are currently in the meta or engines that are currently in the meta that are getting support in Eternity Code? I'm going to quickly touch on this because I feel we've already touched on this in other categories, but yes, there's meta support for Orcus, Cybers, and Salamangreat, which is specifically one of the top tiers in the meta right now, generic Synchro Fusion and Exi support, Dinosaur, Invoked, and Water. So with all that said, meta relevant now, yeah, that's an easy 5. Next metric is product value versus cost. So this is essentially, are we going to be getting a greater return fairly easy with how much money we're putting down? So because this is a core set, we are getting 24 packs a box, and a box, depending on what you're paying for the case, is going to be roughly around $58 a box. So you are getting a lot of value, especially because there are so many good cards and good support that's coming out of Eternity Code. I'm going to say that this is a 4. Now, there are things that you're like, so look, for example, if you're getting a structure deck that has set cards, and maybe those set cards are already beyond the $10 value of a structure deck, those are the ones that I would say is an easy 5. But this, I feel, is strong enough to at least be a 4. Collector's value, fan favorite, anime support. This is our next metric. So this is essentially, what is the collectible value out of these cards? Maybe for people that aren't super into the meta, maybe they're more casual, or maybe they just like the collection aspect of Yu-Gi-Oh! So I feel this one is extremely strong. So first, you have Dragon Maid, which is a huge fan favorite. Second, you have tons of anime support that's going to be coming inside of this set. So you have Jack Atlas support, Resonator support, or Dark Dragon Synchro support. Then you have Shark from Zexal, where you're getting a lot of water, Exi support. And then you have all the imports that are coming from Link Vrain, such as Soulburner, which is Salamangreats, Playmaker, which is Code Talkers, and then you have which is basically finishing off a lot of the cards that we got in Ignition Assault. Who isn't pictured here, we also have Blue Maiden, which is Marine Cess. This one is going to be an easy 5. It's really touching all categories for collectability. Reprint value and rarity bumps. Now in these types of sets, I don't believe we are going to be getting any reprints. We haven't got the set list for the TCG yet, but from what I can see, what came out of the OCG, they did not have any reprints, so I'm gonna imagine we are not gonna get any. So with the information that we have today, I'm putting this as a 1. Honestly, I feel it doesn't do justice to the set to give this a low score, but we are following the model, and if there aren't any reprints, then it's gonna have to be very low. So this is gonna bring down the score of the set. So again, take that with a grain of salt. Influencer hype. So this is basically YouTube influencers that talk about the set, believe it or not, that actually does decide whether or not people are excited for a set to some degree. So if we go and just quickly look at YouTube, there's a lot of people that are talking about the potential of Eternity Code, and a lot of people that are basically saying that it's some of the most broken sets ever. Right here you have House of Champs, Broken, New Orcus and Medolce, Double Summon, Trap Searcher, Gokis, that's another archetype that I didn't mention. Gokis is getting a huge buff. If you guys didn't see my previous video where I talk about how I invested $1,000+ into this set, you guys can go and see that, but I talked about it here, talked about how I feel it's going to be one of the best products coming out as well. So jumping back to our metric for influencer hype, that is also going to be an easy 5. Future meta relevance potential. So for this metric, this is basically archetypes or engines that are coming that aren't in the meta today, but with this support or these new cards coming, have a ton of meta potential to where they will likely be in the meta. Now this is strictly kind of guesswork because we're not seeing it in the meta yet. Some of the cards that I feel are worth mentioning, which I've touched on in the video: Plunder Patrol, Gen Raiders, Gizmek Inari, Evening Crescent and Autumn Shower, Dragon Maids, Deep Sea Archetype, Cyber's Base Decks, Water Charmer, Synchro, Resonator, Fiend, Infernoid engines. If you guys look at some of the cards that are coming, there are some cards that just work really generically to create an engine. I can imagine there's going to be an engine that touches the Synchro, Resonator, Fiend, Infernoid engines because of the support coming in Eternity Code, and then Medolces. I feel a lot of these cards or archetypes that are listed here have a ton of potential because of Eternity Code. So with that said, and with that being such a large list, that is also going to be a 5, which is very high. So guys, let's get to the overall analysis of our set discussion here for the risk model and the results. So it came out to an 86.5. 86.5 is really strong. And again, it's being brought down a lot because of the reprint value rarity bump metric. Now, if I was to say that was a 5, I believe the score jumps up to about a 94%. So again, take it with a grain of salt. I feel this is a product that is a really good investment for somebody who's wanting to make a large investment into Yu-Gi-Oh! And also, if you're not going to be making a large investment, I think this is something that's worth investing in, even maybe a couple boxes. I feel that there is going to be a good return with the type of cards that you're going to get. Now, if you're wanting to get very specific cards, it may be best to just go ahead and buy the singles and not take the risk of not getting the cards that you want. So use your best judgment. So guys, that's gonna do it for the video. I am extremely excited. I bought a case and a half, as I mentioned in my previous video, and I'm going to be opening that on the channel and going through the ratios with you guys. I feel that this may be a investment that can easily double or more, but we'll see once we actually open the product in the upcoming video. And guys, I also wanted to mention I was intending to do an interview with a Yu-Gi-Oh vendor for this week. It didn't work out with the gentleman that I was talking with to bring him on the channel and have an interview with him, but I am trying to find some other Yu-Gi-Oh vendors right now that buy and scale and just really interview with them on the channel and learn from them and give you guys an idea of what it's like being in the shoes of somebody that's making large investments in Yu-Gi-Oh product, and are they seeing the return? And guys, if you are a Yu-Gi-Oh vendor and if you are making huge investments in product, let me know down in the comments below and I might reach out to you and maybe do an interview with you on the channel. If anything, I'd love to help market your storefront or your website or your OTS store, wherever you sell your product. So guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I'm gonna start thinking about what I'm gonna do for the next video. If I can't get an interview lined up, maybe I'll do another set discussion. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys would like to see. I'd really love to know your thoughts. Hope you guys have a good one. I'll see you next time.